cool. And actually, she's joining us today from that exact same room. Lori, what's up, dude?
What's
Dude, you've got
up?
your boom whackers from Drumathon. That's excellent. That is so
Happy
awesome. Oh,
birthday.
thank you. Thanks, man. I'm like, yeah. It's just like, as soon as you start like hitting anything with drums, I'm like, I want to go get on my drum set now. Come on. So cool, man. And I love that you're wearing a Drumathon shirt, your Drumathon 2019 shirt. That's killer. And those
Yes.
glasses are actually, did they say Texas Oncology on them? I bet they do.
Yep, they
Yeah,
do.
that's awesome. We threw those out at Drumathon. That's so cool, man. Well, you're
I got all my gear.
so awesome. Yeah, she's wearing the swag. So, man, first of all, thanks so much for joining on my birthday. It really means a lot to me, and I'm having so much fun tonight. And I appreciate your patience with the technical difficulties that we had that kind of backed our program up a little bit. But people are still here hanging out. We've got Karen in the house, Deborah's here, Jeff's in the house, Johnny is here. Laura, Andy, everybody's still here hanging out, ready to party and chat with you. But, you ended up
Awesome.
being like the headliner. It just kind of worked out that way. We wanted to give all the check presentations and toggle between musical artists and stuff like that. But the reason I wanted to have you is because you're also a drummer and you're also a breast cancer survivor. And, I wanted you to take everybody back a little bit to kind of what led up to you finding the breast cancer and where you are now. Just kind of take us through, if you would.
Okay. Man. So this was 2018. So not that long ago. There's no history of breast cancer in my family, and I kind of just I felt like an uncomfortable lump in my breast, and it just kind of quickly was growing, and it was uncomfortable to the touch. I couldn't sleep on my side anymore, and it um, so I just like test after test. I just kind of had to keep being diligent, and you started with the basic, mammograms, and then uh, went on to I think an MRI, which was horrible. Yeah,
Oh yeah, those
that
are
was
no fun at all, man. Being in those big tubes and plus it's not only that it's kind of a claustrophobic situation, but you have to be super still, and then you're also in not a great place, not a great headspace because you're dealing with something you don't know what's going on. It's sort of scary.
yeah, yeah. So those results came back, and it was kind of like, all right, let's move on to the next phase. We're still not, we're seeing things that we're not sure about, and I did a regular biopsy, I guess you'd say. Like, all this was new to me, and so I'm just kind of jumping through the hoops. And my first biopsy actually came back negative, and
Wow.
I mean, literally the doctor would have been done with me,
Wow.
and he was like, it's negative, and another doctor had called me with the results, and she recommended surgery, but nobody could really. That was all they could say. Well, we recommend surgery, but your tests are negative. So anyway, I ended up in Milwaukee. I live right in between Milwaukee and Chicago, so there's a great um, women's breast center there, and I connected with a great doctor and a surgeon, and I did a stereotactic biopsy, which was again new to me. I'm sure you know all about it. um,
Yeah, there's a lot of
that
different kinds
was
of biopsy. I had that core needle biopsy, and that was no fun.
never even heard
Yeah,
of it.
there's a lot of different ones out there. Yeah.
Well, this was probably the most painful hour of my life. um, like, you're face down on a table, kind of like you're being worked on like a car, and just needles going in to the breast. And I was in tears, but the nurse held my hand the whole time. I was crying. Like, it was just so painful. And it was worth it though, because those test results came back positive, which, took me to the next phase.
Yeah, I mean, and
And
thank God that you were diligent about it because, as you said, one of the previous biopsies came back negative, but you just didn't feel like it was right, and you just kind of kept on it, right?
yeah, I knew something was
Yeah.
wrong. And, I could feel it. I could, with my hand, I could feel that there was this, I don't, probably about the size of a golf
Wow.
ball.
Yeah.
Um, and you couldn't see it from the outside, but I could definitely feel it. And it was painful. And I know for some people, they don't feel anything, but for me, it was painful. And after I met with the surgeon, best decision for me was to have a mastectomy. Just there wouldn't have been much left if I had done a lumpectomy. There wouldn't have been much left, and uh, I just I felt better about just getting it out. And yeah, yeah, that's basically
Yeah. That's
what I decided,
yeah.
and that was the best decision for me.
So, how long ago was that when you had that surgery?
September of 2018.
Yeah, it's crazy because I guess we started talking probably early last year, so it was still pretty fresh, when all that was happening. And did you then have chemo, or what other treatments did you have after that?
Yeah, thankfully I did not have to have chemo. It was stage 0, so it was still contained within the breast ducts. So it hadn't found its way outside, which I, you know, very quickly learned everything there was to know about breast cancer for my condition. So my surgeon explained all that, and um, she explained, once it gets out of the breast ducts, that's when you start having even more serious issues. So um, didn't have to have chemo or radiation at that point. I had the mastectomy. She felt like she had, all the margins that she needed to get cut out. And um, I had decided to reconstruct, which sounds like a great idea on the front end. And I'm sure a lot of women have had well, I know that a lot of women have had a lot of success with
Right.
that. For me, it was not a good next step. It sounded great on
Right.
paper, and so they put the expander in during mastectomy, and then the plastic surgeon comes in and puts the expander in that they start to fill, and you have to have a few more procedures after that. But like the next day after my mastectomy, my skin started to die, which nobody warned me that was a possibility, or it never crossed my mind that would be able to
So
happen.
when
But
you say your skin started to die, like was it a visible change that you could see? Was it just like was it like your skin just
yeah,
like got dry and flaked off, or what did it what how did you know that your skin was dying?
yeah, I mean pictures, but so the plastic surgeon, it was very dark red and very blotchy. It just, I mean, for me looking down, it looked like a big scab, but it's just ugly.
I've
And
I've
so
seen
the
I've seen stuff like that women have that they get from like radiation and stuff like that. But I don't know if maybe I've seen it before, but I didn't realize it. But it sounds very similar. And was it painful?
yeah, I mean a scab would be like healing. It looked like a scab, but it wasn't, hard and crusty like a scab. That's really gross. But it's like the blood was just drawing to that area, and the skin was just dying.
Wow.
And so the plastic surgeon came looking at it, and she kind of just flippantly says, "Yeah, well, we'll get some hyperbaric treatments and da 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 da." And I'm like, "What the heck is hyperbaric treatments?" you know,
Right. What
you
did what
know.
did I sign up for? It's like all of a sudden your plan is expanding in front of you, right?
Yeah, And so they send in the hyperbaric doctor to explain, all the risks and what it is and what it does. And hyperbaric treatments are breathing oxygen under pressure. So it promotes quick healing. I think a lot of amputees get that kind of treatment, or people who've had carbon monoxide poisoning. So
wow.
so he's explaining it to me, and all I'm hearing is that it messes with your ears.
Yeah, we don't want that as drummers,
Because
especially.
I was in tears. My sister was there holding my hand. I was in tears. He said, why don't you want to do this? In my mind, I was going to do it. I mean, no question, I was going to do it. But on the outside, I was like, I don't want to ruin my hearing. I'm a musician. And when you're, under pressure, kind of like when you go up in an airplane, or if you're, diving in the underwater, that pressure, man, can just pop your ears. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
And
it would be comfortable at all.
no, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I didn't have to undergo chemo and radiation, which I'm sure is way worse than what I had to go through. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Yeah. Well, did that solve the problem?
Yeah. It was, hyperbaric treatment was like my job for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. So for 4 hours, like some hyperbaric chambers are like one per person, but since Milwaukee has like a big chamber, it's almost like you're in like a train car with like 10, 15 people. You can get in there at one time.
Wow.
So I'm in my recliner, and then you put on like a space helmet with the oxygen, and it's sealed tight around your neck. And you sit in there for 2 hours.
Wow, that
I had to do
sounds
that.
kind of scary.
If you're claustrophobic, forget it, man.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Jeez. Sounds like they turn you into like an astronaut for a little while or something.
Yeah, I had to get over my motion sickness like real quick.
Yeah.
I was throwing up. So like you're in this helmet. It's like, I gotta puke.
Like, dude, stop the ride. Stop the ride. God bless. Yeah. Wow.
Like there's a nurse inside the chamber with you at all times, because you can't just open the door. It's like you're on an airplane. You can't just open the door and like go out and use the bathroom or throw up.
Yeah. Like they have to like decompress.
So it's like, hey, I gotta puke.
Wow. So how long did it like take them to like when it was time to get out of there? How long did it take them to like decompress the little room or thing that you were in so that you could walk out?
30 minutes.
Oh man. So you can't do anything fast.
So it's like 30. Yeah. So 30 minutes down, and then then you're breathing for an hour or so, and then 30 minutes to come back up. And I did that twice a day.
Wow.
So like from the time they come and get me from my room, it was like a 3-hour trip.
Wow. That's crazy. But it worked. And so it was 2 weeks, just 2 weeks that you had to do that.
Yeah, and then after every treatment, they would take me back to a room and take pictures and look at it. Like they can see the results like that fast, which is amazing. So after 18 treatments, they felt it was healed enough where I had to have another surgery on October 1st. They took the expander out. They kind of, they cleaned up the skin, sewed it back together. And, I've got at least a nice scar now. But yeah, that sucked.
Wow. So, did you complete all of the reconstruction, or where are you with that?
I'm done.
You're done. Yeah.
At this point, maybe 5 years from now, I'll feel differently. But I mean, who's to say my skin's not going to die again once cut me open again. I don't think I want to deal with that.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I have talked about this a few times because you know that I didn't do reconstruction at all. Like I just chose out of the gates not to do it. But it's a very personal decision. It's more common that women want to do reconstruction. You know, I mean, nobody wants to really be without breasts, so it makes sense. But you know, I've heard all kinds of stories on both sides. You know, where people have had humongous issues down to the point of where they just were like forget it and they just went flat, or people that are happy with what they got. But you know, I think at the end of the day you just want to do whatever it is that's going to keep you safe, and you've survived breast cancer. You don't, you know, want to put yourself through any extra stuff, especially when you start encountering complications that weren't expected, like what you went through, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy with the prosthetic.
Uh-huh.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Um, it's fine.
Yeah, and you know that's how I am too. I wear prosthetics too, and it's totally not a big deal. So now that you're through all of that stuff, are you still going in to see the oncologist at certain frequency, or how's that working?
Yeah, every 6 months, another mammogram. I was actually supposed to see my surgeon last month, but everything's canceled. So um, I guess it wasn't essential enough for me to need to go in. And I was supposed to have a mammogram last month too, and um, just postponed, which is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. But yeah, so they're still kind of keeping up with you, and you'll still be going in for a few more years, I would imagine. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. Man, that's some scary stuff. I'm so glad that you caught that early at stage zero like that, and that you took, you know, very proactive measures to make sure that, you know, you got it all out and that you're free and clear and not having to do chemo. That's pretty cool. I'm a little jealous about that right now.
Yeah, my mom went through chemo. I know what it does, man. It's horrible.
Yeah, totally. What kind of cancer did your mom have?
I honestly, I can't remember. It was like uterine cancer, the other female
Right,
parts.
right, right. I wonder if there's a tie there. I
uh,
did that genetic testing. Did you ever do the genetic testing at all?
yeah, all zero. Like none of the
Yeah, same
genes,
here.
none of the eight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. Well, now you're through all that, and you've been doing some rocking at home and doing some different things with drumming. So give everybody an update. I mean, you were with Skillet. What years were you with Skillet? Tell everybody your history with Skillet and what years you're with them, what albums you put out, and then let's talk about where you're at now, what you're doing.
yeah. So I was with Skillet for 8 years. So 2000 to 2008. I did 4 albums. So I started with like a live worship album called Ardent Worship, and then an album called Alien Youth, and then Collide. Collide? Yes, Collide. And then the last album was Comatose, which was when we got signed to Lava Atlantic Records. Um, yeah, so 4 records. I think we did like a live DVD for Alien Youth too, which, you know, it's old. Yeah, I don't. It's embarrassing.
It's all good, man. I mean, you know, everybody had to start somewhere. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'll have to send you some old discs that I have, and you know, it just is what it is. Um,
yeah.
so you were with the band, you did a couple albums, and you just decided. I think they were touring a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we were on the road like 250 days a year or
Ugh,
something.
that's tiring. I mean, like right now, we were traveling a lot with the bands that I play in. We were traveling pretty frequently, but it was mostly like 3 weekends a month. It wasn't weeks at a time. I'm sure that's got to be really draining.
Yeah, it's a love hate. It was awesome, but then you're away from your family. It's a big sacrifice. But you're living the dream. I wouldn't have traded that. It was awesome.
I'll bet so, man. That's so cool. So after you left Skillet, What was the next thing that you did?
Just came home and just worked like local businesses, nothing in music. Um, and then not until like the past couple years have we been able to really do music again. I got married. My husband Chris and I have been married almost 8 years.
Woohoo!
So we have Ocean Studios is what we like to call it,
So awesome.
and yeah, so we've got that up and running. So now I can actually record our own music. But then I've got a profile on soundbetter.com, which I think after the
Yeah.
video that you had played, you can see that information. But so people, you can hire anybody from musicians to sound engineers, like anything on SoundBetter. And so I've gotten a few jobs. We've just kind of got up and running with that. But people can find me, and if you want Lori to play on your album, then you can hire me.
That wouldn't be a bad thing, man. You're
No.
Yeah, you're a ripper, man. It was so fun having you at Drumathon last year, and playing some songs with you, and then when you played that one tune and you just rocked out by yourself, I was like, dang, it was so awesome. It's cool. You were the first celebrity rock star drummer that was female that we've ever had at Drumathon. So that was just really cool, and it even meant even more to find you as a fellow breast cancer survivor. It's like we're two peas in a pod or something. I mean, there can't.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
there can't be that many female drummers around that have also had breast cancer. I mean, it's just there's probably just not that many around. So it was really cool to meet you and find you and everything like that. And so your husband Chris, he plays guitar and sings, and he's a songwriter. Is that right?
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. Plays piano, and then he's engineers all my drums, and he can mix, and um, piano and guitar are his main instruments. And so he started his own project. It's called Emerald Escape, and I'm kind of in it like by default.
Yeah, it's a lot easier
But
that way. It's like, well, if I could just go in the other room and play with my band, she's already here. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool though.
we have a lot of fun doing it though. So he just released his first single um, March 13th of this year, right before all this crazy virus stuff
Right,
happened.
right.
um, so he's really excited. He's working on another song that he wrote for me
Oh.
about my whole breast cancer journey and stuff. So the song that he wrote, "Kill the Pain," was for him because he went through like 3 knee surgeries. So that was kind of his healing process. And now he's writing a song for me. So we're working on that.
That's so cool, man. And I haven't gotten to do any songwriting in a very long time. I used to do it a lot back in the late 90s, and now playing in like an 80s tribute band, it's all covers all the time, and don't really get to do any songwriting. I miss it a lot. That's one of the things that's been cool about, if you can believe it, that's been cool about this whole lockdown situation we're in, is that you get to spend more time alone with your music. And I've been up in the studio almost every night, whether it's recording something with friends or doing like a drum video or whatever. It's just really been a lot of fun. I've really taken advantage of that, and I really like doing it a lot. So it's pretty cool. I want to make sure that I give some shout outs. There's a lot of people that are saying things to you, Lori, that I need to read off here. So Deborah
Right.
Gloria says, "Love Lori Peters, amazing performer, a showstopper at Drumathon, girl power." Yeah,
Yes.
that's you, man. Laura Sansoni says, "Lori, you totally rock." Mandy Griffin Fenton says, "Great to see you, Lori." Michelle Graves, who introduced me to you. She's on our
Yes.
Drumathon. She's our Drumathon committee chair, and she's also on the Breast Cancer Certificate Board. Woohoo! Yeah. Michelle says, "Dude, Lori Peters, love that studio setup." So she loves your setup. Patrick is one of our volunteers, and he says, "Lori, sorry that I missed you and Chip Ritter last year at Drumathon. I hope to see you guys this year." He's a great volunteer. He's actually on our Drumathon logistics committee. Um, And Jennifer Tatum wanted to point out that it's so great that you advocated for your own self care. So that was really great. And then Michelle says, "I can't believe we've come full circle, Lori Peters. I love you." And so she loves showing you some love.
Yes.
Maddie, Cammy, and Craig are also in the house. So, oh, she's doing the heart for you guys. You got the heart. Well, man, I know I kept you really late today, and I really, really appreciate you like coming on so late in the evening. I think you're in Central Time, aren't you? So
Yep.
it's like almost 11, or it is 11, and this is like about an hour later than we planned. You know, maybe not that much, but I really appreciate you staying on late for the party. It means a lot to me that you would come hang out on my birthday and help us raise some funds and just kind of spread awareness about breast cancer and share your story. And just so great to talk to you and to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Just thank you for having me at Dramathon last year. It was, I mean, I couldn't not go.
Dude.
One, thank you, Michelle, for just being there for me and connecting us. That was just, meant to be. And it was, I felt like, even if I wasn't a drummer, I felt like a star being there as a survivor. So it was very healing, and it was just it will always be another stage in my journey. And I'm just so glad that I went, and I hope to be back. And,
we hope to have you back real soon too, Lori. I mean, I think it was totally meant to be as well. I mean, when Michelle told me about you and everything that was going on and the timing of it, like just being so fresh with what you were going through, I was really glad that we could be a part of your journey, because it is a time in your life that you'll always remember, that you recognize that gives you perspective, and like you said, a part of the healing process, and it's an honor to be a part of that with you. So thank you for spending Drumathon with us, and we want to have you back again real soon.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Right, girl.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, man.
I hope you raise all the money
man.
that you're trying to raise.
Dude,
and then
we're
some.
we're like 3,000 right now. My goal was 2, so we killed it tonight. And it's a big thank you to everybody who's been watching tonight, and to all the guests like yourself. So thanks so much for being here, Lori. We're going to sign out for the night. I'm going to let you go and close out the evening. But thank you very much for joining, and I will talk to you really soon, okay, girl?
All right, can I do one last thing?
Yeah, tell me what. Do it.
Because this is your birthday.
Yes, now I'm excited. Come on. Yes! That's awesome, dude. Show me your boom whackers, man. Do it. Woo.
I'm such a geek, but happy birthday.
Freaking love the crap out of you, girl, man. Thanks for being here. It's like my face hurts from smiling so hard. Oh my God. Thank you so much, man.
I mean, I gotta make some noise. We're freaking
I know,
drummer.
right? We should be hitting something. Come on. Dude, thanks so much for being here. I love you, man. You take care and have a great night, all right?
You're welcome. Love you too.
Dude, Lori Peters, she's so awesome, guys. We love her. Man, and she was killer at Drumathon, too, if you missed it. We played the Drumathon recap video earlier from 2019, and she was in that. Man, she moshed. Like, that drum set came alive when she was behind it. So, yeah, she did. I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Mandy says, there was no way that Lori wasn't going to be at Drumathon. Loved having her there. She killed it at Drumathon. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Guys, I think I'm out of paper. I'm like looking. We did all of our check. We did 3 check presentations. If you didn't catch on, we donated out $90,000 tonight. $90,000. $5,000 for mammograms at Texas Health, Allen, and Collin County. We did $17,500 for mammograms out at Parkland in Dallas County. We did $22,500 for breast cancer treatment, financial assistance for breast cancer treatment. And then we did $45,000 for research and trials over at Baylor Sammons Cancer Center. So $90,000, you guys, we donated out tonight for our annual check presentations. I'm so glad that you guys can make it here for my birthday. It means so much to me that you spent it with me, doing something that I'm very, very passionate about. And I want to give a big shout out of thanks to our entire social media team, Mandy, Ashley, Deborah. I also want to thank Mary for helping out this evening. Had a lot of people working behind the scenes. All of our volunteers definitely shared out the broadcast. Michelle helped a lot with getting folks here this evening and letting people know that the show was going on. And again, we raised $3,000, which means I'm going to be a dinosaur at a grocery store sometime soon. $3,000, guys. $3,000 even, which is $1,000 more than we were shooting for. You guys killed it, slayed it. I'm so happy. I could not freaking be happier. I'm going to go chillax on the couch and relax after having a fantastic birthday. Thanks to all of you out there. So you guys have a great night. We're going to see you guys really soon, and stay safe out there. And don't forget, man, breast cancer hasn't stopped, and neither have we. Rock on.